Hi guys, it's Greg here from CausingTheEffect. Just here at the Stop the Filter protest here in front of State Library in Melbourne. A lot of other smaller groups have come to join us as well. We've got a couple of communist fellows here. We've got the Australian Sex Party.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we've got a couple of vegetarian groups here. Just all gathered here, and we've got a few people here. Not as great as I would expect, but we're going to have a couple of guest speakers. A Greens Party candidate is going to be speaking, and another fella from Labor. We're just come here to support the cause, and I hope this gets onto the mainstream media.
Not really about child pornography. It's not really about trying to stop pornography, although that will be one of the effects. It's actually trying to create a system of control over the internet. Like, there's no denying that the internet has improved the lives of people in the world by having space that they can freely discuss ideas, can communicate ideas to a broad audience, without having to pay money, without having to go through restrictions. So today we fight the corporate media to have millions of dollars, and they determine what is and isn't told to the mass of people. And you have to pay for that paper. But yeah, you can't get your views in there. You can try as hell as you like. They'll probably get our views in there, but in a very distorted way. Oh, there's only 10 people at a rally, and it wasn't very good. But we've got to get our voices louder. But anyway, I'll leave that aside. But I think that there's a discussion internationally by some of the news corporations, about trying to privatise the internet. Trying to create a situation where companies like Rupert Murdoch's News Limited and others, they can continue to increase their profits because it's been eaten away by the internet, by the existence of the internet. And they've announced, trying to, set up a system where there can be, fines and, basically stopping other websites from republishing their news items, so they're making everyone have to go through, subscribe through websites. There's a broader discussion about more wider privatisation. And I think that this is part of an attempt by the Australian government to set up a system of enforcement, a system of enforcement that allows them the ability to, at will, to shut down a website here and there. We don't like what they're saying here doesn't support our views, etc., etc. And I think it's already clear in what's been proposed. I mean, I won't go through the points everyone else has said it, but one important thing is that, there's been a discussion about censoring items that promote, incite or instruct in matters of crime or violence will also be banned. Well, it's a very unclear thing what that means about crime when, a few years ago the Howard government talked about sedition as being a crime, inciting any violence against the government. We can have a protest here today and we should get rid of the government, and that could potentially be criminal. So any website that starts to talk about these things might very well be a target. I think that's a very big concern. And also, as pointed out, the other big problem is that, we won't know who's on that list. So, we could find out tomorrow that we're not on there, and how do we appeal? We could find out that our website is being censored, and we have no system for appeal. I mean, that's not democracy. Let's get that straight. So I guess, as a socialist line, we're not in favour of exploitation. We're not in favour of child exploitation. But we know that putting a ban on the internet is not going to stop exploitation. It's not going to stop child exploitation. It's not going to stop any of those things. Like, it's pretty obvious that that's the case. In fact, all the evidence shows that this is going to be a bit of a farce. It's just going to slow down the internet. I mean, so I think in that context, we should say confidently, yeah, we don't need it. We don't need this filter. We don't need a censorship system. Stop trying to take away our freedoms. For the winner of the Stop the Filter Banana, we are going to start the speeches. As you know, we're all here to stop the internet filter. The government's trying to enforce it through the Senate. It's against public opinion. It's against independent groups. It doesn't work, which I find a problem. I don't know about you. They did a trial last year and it was an abject failure. It blocked out dentists, it blocked out breast cancer sites. What it didn't block out is child pornography, because that's file sharing and you can't stop that with a filter. We are going to start today's speeches with Dr. Richard Natal from the Greens candidate for the Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause.
up today. My favourite time was getting your rosaries off my binaries off it as a ripper. Look, most of us here know that we've got a problem, but most of us also know that what the government's proposing is a bad solution because it's impractical, it's open to abuse, and it's probably counterproductive. So we've got a problem. We've got some creeps who, mainly through peer-to-peer networks, target young kids. We know that. But we know that the proposal by the government is going to do nothing to address that problem because the government's misunderstood the way the internet actually works. You see, you can't stop peer-to-peer stuff through a mandatory internet filter. In fact, you probably can't stop anything through a mandatory internet filter. We've seen whiz kids in the States, 16 years old, crack the US government super filter, $100 million worth of stuff, cracked within the space of a few hours. So it's not going to work, it's impractical. But most worryingly, it's open to abuse. Governments make laws that affect not only governments of the day, but future governments. And we don't want people in secret deciding what we can or can't see. Before we know it, we'll have a government who decides what websites come to this country and the circumstances in which they come. We don't want governments making decisions about what we can or can't see using a filter that won't work. And what's really worrying is that this may actually be counterproductive